Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Hall. This is news you can use to fight fascism. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. Before we start talking about the anti-vaxxer who's no longer with us, I want to share with you this bit of insanity. Is there video for this? Yes, there is video for this. This is from Senator Mike Braun. He's a Republican from Indiana. Endorses overturning Loving versus Virginia, the landmark unanimous ruling protecting interracial marriage. You know, everyone, we've gone over this before on the show. Before 1967, if you were white, you couldn't marry a black person. If you were black, you couldn't marry a white person. It goes in many states here in the Union. Virginia was one of those states. And like I said, in 1967, the Supreme Court said that states can't make laws telling you that you can't marry a person of another race. Let's check out this video and see what the good senator has to say about this ruling.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
Okay, there's so much to unpack here. So the good senator was talking about Roe versus Wade and how it should be every state's ability to tell a woman what to do with her body. When the question was posed to him, hey, if you're saying that it's the Supreme Court's overreach to tell states that abortion is okay, then do you think interracial marriage? Do you think that the Supreme Court overstepped its bounds in 1967, outlawing, or what's that term? Miscegenation? Miscegenation. I guess that's the official term of, or the old-timey term of when people of different races marry. I just want to show this one more time just to show you how crazy it is.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
So this is one of those instances that someone actually says the quiet part out loud. And of course, this particular clip went viral. Senator Braun got a lot of crap for it. Now he's walking it back. Now he's saying, oh, I didn't understand the question. I didn't understand what was actually being asked of me in that moment. So I hope this haunts him till the end of his days. I hope it does. I'm going to check out the chat before starting to talk about anti-vaxxers. Good morning, Blazing Wizard Pope. Glad to see that you're here with us. Okay, let's talk about anti-vaxxers for a minute. Let's talk about this particular person, and links are all in the description about these stories, everyone. Here she is. She was a nurse working in a rehab facility. So what is a rehab facility? People, my aunt went into a rehab facility after, what was it? She fell and hurt herself and had to go into a rehab facility. A lot of people after surgery have to go into rehab facilities. These are patients who might have immunity issues, right? They might be immune suppressed for whatever reasons. And this person decided that she could be a nurse at one of these facilities and not get immunized. And now, happy ending to this story, she's dead. Just check it out. And I'm gonna double down on this. I'm gonna say that if you're a nurse and you decide not to get vaccinated, then you're putting the lives of the people that you're supposed to be serving in harm's way. And that is, and if COVID takes you, then I think that's a net plus for everyone. Lucinda Schindley, 58, of Leipzig, Ohio, registered nurse, trusted her immune system and now dead from COVID. According to this obituary, when Lucinda died on November 11th, 2021, she was a registered nurse and worked at Northcrest Rehab and Nursing Center, which clearly didn't have any vaccine mandate. She rarely posted on Facebook, only to update her profile picture and her cover photo. However, like a lot of anti-vaxxers on the site, she did state her vaccine status just before getting COVID, saying she trusts her immune system. I'm going to try to do her voice here. I trust my immune system. I don't know if that was a good voice. Not sure why. She obviously is not a young person. She carried some extra weight on her. She was in the trouble bubble in terms of if you get COVID, you could die from it. And that's exactly what happened. So how is it that a person can be a nurse, go through the schooling to be a nurse, work in the field for years, and then decide, I just don't trust science? How is that possible? It boggles the brain. Oh, here she is. Before she caught COVID, I stand for medical freedom and stop the mandate. It's one thing to say to the world, I don't want to get this life-saving vaccine for myself, right? That I'm going to take the risk to die a horrible death with a tube down my throat helping me to breathe. That's one thing. It's another thing to say I'm not going to get vaccinated while just being out in the community and spreading a deadly disease. And it's so irresponsible that she would work in a nursing facility with people who are elderly, people could have a disability, and just decide to do, hey, I trust my immune system. Fuck. Oh, man, I don't want to say that. But that's what she's saying. She's saying, I trust my immune system. Screw you. It's my freedom to choose to spread this horrible disease to you. And it's my body, my choice, and now you're dead. Stupid is as stupid does, everyone. James J. Olmsted. David, my son just posted this. Just wanted to give everyone an update on Mom, Lucinda Schindley. Friday night, she was admitted to Lima Memorial due to complications with her COVID and pneumonia. She went in with her oxygen levels in the low 70s. That's bad. I believe it was Sunday that she was transferred to the ICU. At that time, she was on a BiPAP mask for breathing. She's still in the ICU, but they moved her to a ventilator due to her oxygen levels still fall. Right now, she's sedated and on a vent. They had issues with her blood pressure dropping, but they are adding meds to try to counteract that. Oxygen levels are not great, but they are better than they have been. If you could keep, and here it comes, everyone, you know what's going to be, because the people who aren't getting vaccinated, they just happen to be riding the same bus as the thoughts and prayers crowd. If you could keep Mom and our family in your prayers, it would be much appreciated. I wonder if those thoughts and prayers worked out. With great sorrow, I have to pass along the sad news that David's mother, my ex-wife, Lucinda Schindley, passed away this morning due to COVID. Continued prayers are requested for David and the family. How about this? How about you just go get vaccinated? Any single time they mention any family member, any friend of Lucinda's who is posting about her, instead of saying thoughts and prayers, how about you just say, go get vaccinated? I think that would be a little bit more important. I think go get your vaccination, go get boosted. Far more useful than thoughts and prayers. Checking out the big board here. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, I'm talking to the people in the chat. If you want to come and join us on YouTube, there's a link somewhere. Laughing in Disbelief channel on YouTube. KCA Randy, good morning. Thoughts and prayers and ignorance does not anti-science sentiments. They don't end well. No. I know I needed a red card there, John Hudson. You're right about that. Trying to keep swearing the F word down to a minimum. All right. Dr. Kennard is okay. Okay, so I am hoping that I'm noticing a few things that a signal is this working? Is the signal getting through, everyone? I'm just wondering, because I'm looking at the chat and I don't know if this is actually getting through to anyone, but I'm going to keep going with the show and seeing what happens here. Let's go to the next story. I'm going to do the halftime tummy rub show and then try to figure out whatever technical issues I'm having. How's that? Thank you, Chris. We can see and hear you, Andy. I appreciate that, because there's sometimes I wonder whether or not YouTube has officially ended the channel or not, because I'm still officially in the trouble bubble with YouTube. All right. Going to try to get back on track. What's the next story we're doing today? This is not going to be to anyone's surprise. These are the most and least federally dependent U.S. states. Link in the description below to this story. What are the chances that the most troublesome states in the union are the ones who are suckling at the teat of federal money? In other words, which are the states that are conservative? Are the states that are taking money from the federal government, are these the same states that are raging against welfare mothers that are raging against democracy? Yes, they are. They are. It seems like the more stupid the state, the more conservative the state is, and the more money they take from the federal government. Let's check it out. Republican-leaning states tend to be more reliant on federal funding, according to a recent study from Wallet Hub. The analysis looked at the return on taxes paid to the federal government, the share of federal jobs, and federal funding as a share of state revenue, and weighed the federal aid dependence of each state's government and residents separately. This is an interactive map I'm going to show you later on, but I can't. It isn't interactive here. I only have a little thumbnail, but if you go to the link in the description, you can see. Like I said, it's an interactive map, and you can check out the specifics there. I can talk words with my mouth. Overall, blue states are less dependent on the federal government than red states, Wallet Hub analyst Jill Gonzalez told Yahoo Finance. States with high taxes and GDP have lower dependency on the federal government, while states with low taxes and GDP depend more on federal aid. Oh, my fictitious God. How... it's red state senators, red state, representatives who are always crying and whining about the federal government spending so much money. How about this? How about we just spend less money on you, red states, and blue states like Massachusetts, California, Washington State? We just keep our money. How about that? Because red states are dragging the good ones down. Alaska was ranked first overall as being the most federally dependent state, while Delaware, I'm surprised about Delaware to tell you the truth, was the least dependent and also first in the lowest amount of other financial service assistance received. A majority of the 5 states with the lowest GDP, that's gross domestic product, everyone here, South Carolina, Alabama, West Virginia, Arkansas, and Mississippi are also among the most federally dependent states on the list. Interestingly, however, Alaska is among the top 5 states for highest GDP, despite being the most federally dependent state in the union. That's probably because each resident of Alaska gets, a $10,000 check every year, maybe more at this point, for drilling rights in Alaska. That's my guess. States that ranked higher for financial dependence, such as New Jersey, Minnesota, and Massachusetts, received exponentially fewer federal contracts and grants between 2021 and 2022 than states on the other end of the spectrum, like Mississippi, New Mexico, and West Virginia. Let's take a look at this lovely infographic right here. You can see that the darker blue, is that blue? Bluish green? I don't know what color it is. But the darker the color, the less dependent they are on the federal government for assistance. And you can see, and to tell you the truth, I think Texas is cheating everyone. I think Texas is cheating because they treat their people like crap. They don't even have a functional electrical grid. So how much money are they actually spending on their residents? I wouldn't go to Alaska, Blazing Wizard Pope. I wouldn't go to, I don't know. It strikes me as home of the Palins, right? Just another crooked petrol state. So there you go. Once again, the map of the least and most dependent states on federal money. Last story, and this is pretty important actually, it's a health related story. Fight Alzheimer's in your mid-30s by tracking these warning signs. Look, you might find this surprising, but I'm getting older. Maybe you're getting older too. And one of the things you want to avoid is Alzheimer's. Having high cholesterol and blood sugar in your 30s may raise your risk for Alzheimer's disease decades later in life, according to a new study. We have shown for the first time that the associations between cholesterol and glucose levels and the future risk of Alzheimer's disease extend much earlier in life than previously thought. Senior study author Lindsay Farrer, chief of biomedical genetics at BU Medical Genetics, told CNN. In the early age group, 35 to 50 years, only an increase of 15 milligrams per deciliter in triglycerides was associated with a 33% increase in Alzheimer's disease risks, Farah said in an email. Now, I can tell that there's a bunch of you out there that are probably checking out your old medical records right now. But there's more. There's more. There are other important bits to this article, everyone. The association was not seen for older age groups, perhaps because older adults are treated for cholesterol more aggressively, he said. In people ages 51 to 60, it was higher blood sugar levels that raised the risk for Alzheimer's, according to the study. This is not new information, higher blood sugars being associated with Alzheimer's disease. I was talking to the girlfriend about this the other day, a while back. I was reading a book on aging and health, and how some doctors call Alzheimer's disease diabetes type 3. So having too much sugar in your blood system is definitely not positive. For every 15 points that your blood sugar goes up, your risk of Alzheimer's goes up by 14.5% later in life, said Farrer, who is also a professor of medicine, urology, ophthalmology, epidemiology, and biostatistics at Boston University. Having high cholesterol may not cause Alzheimer's, but it presses the fast forward button in the disease pathology and cognitive decline. There's a relationship between diabetes and the development of amyloid pathology. You know, if you know anything about Alzheimer's, you know the amyloid deposits in your brain are related to getting Alzheimer's disease. And a type of cholesterol and blood sugar, people ages 35 to 50 who have high levels of triglyceride, a type of cholesterol found in the blood, and low levels of good cholesterol, also called high-density lipoprotein, are more likely to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's later in life, the study found. Watch your blood sugar, watch your triglycerides. That's the moral to this story here. I'm sure I don't have Alzheimer's. Also, I'm sure I don't have Alzheimer's. I prefer to think of my cognitive decline just to be age-related. And also, I was always quirky. So maybe as you get older, this sounds trite, but you become more of who you are. So maybe my quirkiness, I'm just becoming more of who I am. Possible. Tesla Ranger goes, socialism is bad. Now, where's my government handout? That is so much the attitude of red states right there. Where now socialism is bad. Here's how it would go, I think. Socialism is bad. Now where's my government handout? Don't give any money to black or brown skinned people. I think that's really the red state motto. Every red state motto. Okay, so apologies for whatever weirdness has happened with YouTube during this show. I got the impression, I can see the amount of people who are watching the show at any one time, and it seems like there are no people, and then some people, and then no people, and then some people. So there was some confusion here at my end. Robert X, thank you. Like, share, and or subscribe to Laughing in Belief. Don't do it later. Do it now. Hit the like button and bell. I always forget. I don't always, but many times I forget saying those words. And hey, once again, everyone, there's no ads on this channel. Whatever you can do for throwing in a couple of shekels. Thank you for those of you who do and who are YouTube members and who are patrons and who have or will or are, even now, as I speak, tossing in a few pennies into the Venmo and PayPal account. Links in the description below. And by the way, did you see this? Did you see this post this morning by Nathan Timmel? He writes funny stuff and serious stuff over on Only Sky. It's worth checking out. He's a great writer. Lucky to have him on the team on Only Sky. All right. Chris Black said, I lost weight since I switched to a low-carb diet. In fact, in another tab, I was watching a video called Low Carb from a Doctor's Perspective on YouTube. Very interesting. All right. I'm going to say goodbye to all of you. We're doing the after party, after show at 9:30. Link to be on the panel in the description below. If you just want to watch the show, there's a link to the YouTube channel because we do it on the other YouTube channel. Hey, troll in the chat, everyone. Stephen Brown. You know, Stephen, I just want to say that if you hate watch the show, you're still a fan. On that note, I'll see you all later on. Take care. Dropping a cat video, dropping a thank you video. Take care.
Everyone.
You're a what?
Lion.
Oh, you want to be a lion?
Yes.
But what are you right now?
I'm just a baby.